welcome to My Teacher program, UAE's biggest classroom. Today we have Deepthi Mary Tomsey with us. She is from the Department of Physics, Sharjah Indian School, and since you are having your exams coming up, she's going to give you a revision class for physics 11th standard. So students, at any point of time, if you are having any doubts or anything you want to clarify about or any other questions which is not being discussed here, you can give us a call. The number which is has given there in the screen, and then we have an email ID as well that we will show you in the screen, and you can email us also your doubts. Teacher will be giving you the answers for that. So welcome to the show.
Good evening to all the viewers of this program. I welcome all the parents and students to this program. Today I will be giving a revision on the units 1 and 2 of physics grade 11. You know that unit 1 is physical world and measurement, and unit 2 is kinematics. We will be discussing some of the important questions, numerical problems and application level questions based on these units. Let me give you some basic introductions of the first unit, and based on that some questions also we will be discussing, like dimensions of physical quantities. What do you mean by dimensions of physical quantities? What are the applications of these dimensions? We will be discussing one by one. Dimensions of physical quantities is defined as the powers to which base quantities can be raised in order to represent a derived quantity. For example, velocity is a derived quantity, and we know that velocity is defined as rate of displacement. Velocity can be expressed as s divided by t, where s is expressed in a base quantity called length. Majority of our quantities in motion can be expressed in terms of the three base quantities: mass, length and time. Here we have a physical quantity which is a derived quantity obtained from two base quantities, that is length and time. Distance is usually nothing but length. Time is consisting of the base quantity capital T. When we express a derived quantity in terms of the base quantities, we are supposed to use capital letters. Here you can see V can be represented in terms of the fundamental quantities mass, length and time as the powers m raised to 0, l raised to 1, t raised to minus 1. We know that L divided by T can be written as L t raised to minus 1. This expression shows very clearly that velocity is made up of two main base quantities, that is length and time, and the power of mass is 0. It doesn't contain the base quantity mass, but only contains the base quantities length and the time, length to the power 1 and time to the power minus 1. This method of representing, this equation of representing a physical quantity or a derived quantity in terms of its base quantities and the powers to which they are raised is called as dimensions of that physical quantity. There are a lot of applications for these dimensions. Through the problems, we will be discussing one by one a few applications of this one. All these applications of dimensions is based on the concept of principle of homogeneity. According to the principle of homogeneity, for an equation, the left hand side of the equation and the right hand side of the equation, the dimension should be exactly the same. For example, V is equal to U plus AT. It is an equation which consists of V on the left side and U plus AT on the right side of the equation. If this equation has to be correct, the dimension of left hand side, that is velocity which is written, should be equal to the dimension of U and dimension of AT. This principle is called by the name principle of homogeneity. According to the principle of homogeneity, the dimensions on the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation should be the same. Now we will discuss one by one the questions based on dimensions and how to solve them. Just go for the first question. let us see the first question. In van der Waals equation, P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. Determine the dimensions of A and B. You can see the question is, in van der Waals equation, P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. Determine the dimensions of A and B. Now let us see how we can solve this question. P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. On the left hand side we have two terms, we have a multiplication or the product of two terms, P plus A by V square and V minus B. We know that we can add only those quantities which are of the same kind, mean their dimension should be of the same kind. Like when you have to add length with another quantity, you can add only length with length or time with time. We cannot add length with time like that. So that means P plus A by V square clearly tells you that the dimensions of P and dimensions of A by V square should be exactly the same. Dimensions of P should be equal to dimensions of A by V square. What is this P? Actually it represents pressure. We can write the dimensions of this pressure by using the formula force by area. We know that force has a dimension ml T raised to minus T minus 2. Say for example P is equal to P by F by A. Force can be written as m raised to 1 L raised to 1 T raised to minus 2 divided by area is L square. So the dimensions of pressure will be m raised to 1 L raised to minus 1 T raised to minus 2. We equate these dimensions to the right hand side, that is equal to A divided by volume is nothing but L cube the whole square. Volume is usually expressed in meter cube. The unit of volume is meter cube and we know that meter is the unit of length. So actually the dimensions of volume will be equal to L raised to 3. So we can write it as A divided by L raised to 3 the whole square. So what will be the dimensions of A? M raised to 1 L raised to minus 1 T raised to minus 2 into L raised to 6. That means A will be equal to M raised to 1 L raised to 5 T raised to minus 2. Thus we can easily find out the dimensions of A because we can add only two physical quantities of the same kind or same unit or same dimensions. Using this concept we have equated the dimensions of pressure with dimensions of A by V square. P stands for pressure and V is standing for volume. This equation is called as the universal gas equation. And similarly we can also find the dimensions of B. Just as I explained before, V minus B, we can subtract V minus B like this only and only if their dimensions are exactly the same. So by equating dimensions of B with dimensions of B, we can easily find out the dimensions of B. Volume is L raised to 3 and therefore the dimensions of B is equal to L raised to 3. If you want to write it in the form of a dimensional equation, we can write it as m raised to 0 L raised to 3 T raised to 0. Thus we can find out the dimensions of A and B using this method of equating the quantities of same kind, same dimensions. Okay. Now we will go to the next question. A calorie is a unit of heat energy or it equals 4.2 joules, where 1 joule is equal to 1 kilogram meter square per second square. Suppose we employ a system of units in which unit of mass is alpha kilogram, unit of length is beta meter, unit of time is gamma second. What will be the magnitude of calorie in terms of this new system? Let us come back and see how we can solve this. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joules. We know very well that joules is a SI system unit of energy. So the unit of energy is joules and energy is the capacity to do work. The dimensions of work can be written as m raised to 1, L raised to 2, T raised to minus 2. How do we get this dimension? We can get the dimensions of work from the formula force into displacement. Force is ml T raised to minus 2 into dimensions of distance L raised to 1. How do we get the dimensions of force as ml T raised to minus 2? We know that force is equal to ma, and mass is written as m raised to 1 because mass is a fundamental quantity. Acceleration is change in velocity by time. Velocity is distance by time. From that you will get L raised to 1 T raised to minus 1 divided by time. Change in velocity by time is acceleration. Thus we get the dimensions of force as m raised to 1, L raised to 1, T raised to minus 2. Using these dimensions of force, we can easily find out the dimensions of work done. According to the principle of homogeneity, the dimensions of an equation on the left hand side and right hand side should be the same. That means if you are converting it from one system of unit into another system of unit also, the dimensions in both the system of unit should remain the same as it is representing the same quantity. We can find out the value of any physical quantity in another system by using a formula n2 is equal to n1 into m1 by m2 the whole raised to a, L1 by L2 the whole raised to b, and T1 by T2 the whole raised to c, where n2 shows the value of that physical quantity in the new system of unit, n1 shows the value of the physical quantity in the given system of unit. M1, L1 and T1 stand for the base quantities in the given system. M2, L2 and T2 stand for the base quantities in the new system of unit. Then what does these powers A, B and C represent? A, B and C represent the powers to which mass, length and time is being raised. You can see very clearly in the equation that the work done is represented as m raised to 1, L raised to 2, T raised to minus 2. That shows that A's value is equal to 1, B's value is equal to 2 and C's value is equal to minus 2. And what is the value of n1? N1 stands for the given system. I will represent one by one clearly here on the board. You can see it. A's value is equal to 1, B's value is equal to 2, C's value is equal to minus 2 according to the dimensions of the physical quantity that they have asked you. And the value of n1 represent the given system, that is 4.2. The value 4.2 is n1. And we know that m1, L1 and L2, L1, L1 and T1 represent the base quantities in the given system, that is the SI system. m1 is 1 kilogram, L1 is 1 meter and T1 is equal to 1 second. The given systems are m2 alpha kilogram, L2 is given as beta meter and T2 is given as gamma seconds. These are the these are the base quantities they have given in the new system. Let us substitute into this equation and find out the value of n2. Now listen how we can find out. You can just observe. N1 is given as 4.2, M1 is 1 kilogram divided by alpha kilogram in the new system, the whole power 1. L1 is 1 meter, L2 is given as beta meter, the whole power 2, and finally you are given 1 second and gamma second respectively, and the power is minus 2. Alpha 1 kilogram, alpha kilogram, kilogram and kilogram get cancelled, meter get cancelled, seconds and seconds get cancelled. So you get 4.2, 1 divided by alpha raised to 1, 1 divided by beta raised to 2 and 1 divided by gamma raised to minus 2. When you bring this one to the numerator, we have n2 is equal to 4.2 alpha raised to minus 1, beta raised to minus 2 and gamma raised to 2. So in the new system, the value of 1 calorie equal to 4.2 joules can be represented as 4.2 alpha raised to minus 1, beta raised to minus 2 and gamma raised to 2 in the new system of units. Thus, we have solved the second question. Now, let us go to the next question. The frequency of vibration of a string depends on tension in the string, mass per unit length of the string, vibrating length of the string. Establish dimensionally the relation for the frequency. Let us see how we can solve this equation. The frequency depends on, this is one of the application. The previous one we have seen how can we find the dimensions of constants using dimension analysis, and the second example we have seen how we can convert from one system of unit into another system by using dimensional analysis, and this is the third application where we can derive a physical quantity which is depending on other quantities, derive an equation for a physical quantity which depends on the other physical quantities. In the question it was given the frequency is directly proportional to, we don't know to what powers it is depending. So, we are given the names of that, length one of the factor on which depend. Let us consider the power is A. The second factor is mass per unit length, let it power be B, and the third factor they have given is tension, let the power on to which it is depending be T to the power C. And you can see very clearly that the dimensions on the left hand side and right hand side should be exactly the same. If we want to remove this proportionality sign into an equal to sign, we will introduce a constant L raised to A, M raised to B, T raised to C. What are the quantities? L stand for length, M stand for mass per unit length, and T stand for tension. According to the principle of homogeneity, the dimensions on the left hand side and the right hand side should be exactly the same. So, what is the dimension of frequency? Frequency is actually the reciprocal of time period. So, we can easily write it out. The dimension is m raised to 0, L raised to 0, T raised to minus 1. That is equal to, the dimensions of length is simply L raised to 1. I am not writing m raised to 0 and L raised to T raised to, just to make it simpler we are writing it as L raised to 1 the whole raised to A. And on the right side again m, mass per unit length. Mass per unit length means m divided by L. So, the dimensions of mass per unit length is m raised to 1, L raised to minus 1 the whole raised to B. And lastly, tension. Tension is nothing but force. To write the dimensions of force, tension denotes the force developed inside the string. The force of the string or the tension, it denotes the force, that is m raised to 1, L raised to 1, T raised to minus 2 the whole raised to C. And now you will collect all the common terms, like you have L raised to A here, m raised to B, L raised to minus 1, m raised to C, L raised to C, T raised to minus 2Z. M to the power B plus C, L to the power A minus B plus C, and T to the power minus 2C. And according to the principle of homogeneity, the dimensions on left hand side and right hand side should be exactly the same. So, equate the powers to the respective base quantities on the left side. That shows B plus C is equal to 0, A minus B plus C is equal to 0, and minus 2C is equal to minus 1. From this we get C is equal to half, and after finding C we will have B is equal to minus half. Using B and C's value we can easily calculate the value of A as minus 1. Substituting this equation into the above one, nu is equal to k L to the power minus 1, the value of A you have to substitute back into the equation, and T power is raised to half, and m to the power raised to minus half, and T to the power raised to half. This can be written as k L raised to minus 1 can be taken to the denominator and written as L, and T raised to half and m raised to half can be written inside a root. T's power is positive, so in the numerator, m's power is negative, we can take it to the denominator. So, the equation is k divided by L root of T by m. This equation is showing that how frequency depends on these three quantities. We will continue with the remaining questions after a short break.